Hello Bookish friends, welcome to my second recommendations video for the Christie's Missing Readathon. I am very excited for this video because when I was researching the books for the prompts, I came across books that I newly discovered and I cannot wait to share them all with you. The Christie's Missing Readathon is a readathon which will take place between the dates of December 3rd through December 14th, the 11 days that Agatha Christie went missing in 1926. This year we are doing a different approach and we have team captains. Naomi at Naomi's Bookshelf will be the captain of Team Battle. Kevi at Seskevi will be the captain of Team Tommy and Tuppence. Rachel at Rachel Freeman will be the captain of Team Poirot, and I will be the captain of Team Marple. I will link all of our announcement videos about how we will do our readathon and how the teams will compete against each other to find the missing Mrs. Christie. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I previously did a recommendations video which included the prompts of A Close Circle Mystery, a short story, and a book featuring your team's detective. In this recommendations video, I will talk about the remaining two prompts, which are a book by a Golden Age author and a book about Agatha Christie, a book featuring Agatha Christie, or a retelling of an Agatha Christie story. First of all, I want to talk about the Golden Age authors. I came across a description of Golden Age of Mysteries to have a clear idea what we mean by Golden Age of Mysteries. The Golden Age of Mysteries is usually considered the 1920s and 1930s, although the style was written at least as early as 1911. The term also can refer to later written mysteries which follow the same formulas and style. It is widely acknowledged that the Golden Age of Mysteries started with the first book of Agatha Christie, Mysterious Affair at Styles. For a Golden Age mystery author, you can read a book from an author that has actively written in the 1920s and 1930s. You do not have to read a book that was specifically written in the Golden Age, but the author should be a mystery author that writes in the Golden Age of Mysteries. And the first set of Golden Age mystery authors are the members of the Detection Club. The Detection Club was formed in 1930 by a group of British mystery writers, including Agatha Christie, Dorothy L. Sayers, Ronald Knox, Freeman Wills Crofts, Arthur Morrison, Hugh Walpole, John Rhode, Jessie Rickard, Baroness Emma Orczy, R. Austin Freeman, G.D.H. Cole, Margaret Cole, E.C. Bentley, Henry Wade, Constance Lindsay Taylor, and H.C. Bailey. Anthony Berkeley was instrumental in setting up the club, and the first president was G.K. Chesterton. There was a fanciful initiation ritual with an oath written by Sayers, and the club held regular dinners meeting in London. I especially want to read the club oath, which is, I think, fantastic. Do you promise that your detectives shall well and truly detect the crimes presented to them using those wits which it may please you to bestow upon them, and not placing reliance on or making use of the divine revelation, feminine institution, mumbo jumbo, jiggery pokery, coincidence, or act of God? Dorothy L. Sayers outdid herself with this oath. It looks so much fun. So I'll start with the author of the oath. Dorothy L. Sayers is famous for Lord Peter Wimsey's series, and the first book, Whose Body, was written in 1923. My example will be the documents in the case, co-written by Dorothy L. Sayers and Robert Eustace, published in 1930. And let's continue with the first president of the club, J.K. Chesterton is the writer of the very famous The Father Brown series. First short story collection, including the detective Father Brown, was The Innocence of Father Brown, which was written in 1911. I also found another short story collection, which does not include Father Brown, The Man Who Knew Too Much, which was published in 1922. I have two series recommendations from Anthony Berkeley, who also wrote as with the name Francis Isles. The first one is The Leighton Court Mystery, the first book in Roger Sheringham cases, written in 1925, and the second first book in a series is The Piccadilly Murder, the first book in Ambrose Chitterwick's series, written in 1929. The next author from the Detection Club is Ronald Knox. He wrote a series featuring the detective Miles Braden. The first book in this series is The Three Taps, a detective story without a moral, written in 1927. He also wrote some standalone mysteries. The one that caught my attention was The Readathon Murder, written in 1925. The most interesting name on the list was Baroness Emma Orczy, who wrote the famous Scarlet Pimpernel series. Some of her works in the series do coincide with the Golden Age era, although the first book was written in 1905. And there are some very interesting books written by the Detection Club, actually. They were co-written by the members of the Detection Club. I found two books to recommend to you. The first one is the first book, The Floating Admiral, published in 1931. And the second one is Six Against the Art, which was written in 1937. For this prompt, I will read The Six Against the Art by the Detection Club. Other than the Detection Club, there were numerous mystery authors who wrote in 1920s and 1930s. The first three are English authors. The first one is Ernest Bramah. He wrote Max Carados detective stories. Also, a series called K. Lang. The second book in this series, K. Lang's Golden Hours, was written in 1928. The next English author is Josephine Tay, which I had read a book from and loved her writing style. First book that I will recommend is the first book in Inspector Grant series, The Man in the Queue, which was written in 1930. She also wrote the very famous Brat Ferrar, which was written in 1943, which is a book I want to read, like all of the books in this list. The last English author that I will talk about is Patricia Wentworth. She wrote Miss Silver series. The first book is Grey Mask, written in 1928. She also wrote some standalones. One example is The Black Cabinet, written in 1925. I have two authors to recommend from the United States. The first one is Kevin's favorite author, Mary Roberts Rinehart. I also read some books from her and really do like her writing style. The first novella that I will recommend is the first in Hilda Adams series, The Buckled Bag, which was written in 1914. And the second book that I will recommend is a standalone, The Great Mistake, written in 1940. I know Kevin loved this book. The second author from the United States is Ernest Stanley Gardner, who wrote the Perry Mason series. There are numerous books in this series. The first one is The Case of the Velvet Clothes, written in 1933. He also wrote some standalone, like This Is Murder, published in 1935. The next author that I will recommend is from Belgium, George Simenon. He wrote Inspector Maigret series. I have read a novella from this series and I thought it was very, very good. The first book in this series is The Crime at Lock 14, written in 1931. And last but of course not least, we have an author from Japan who is considered as the father of the Hankoku novels. Those are mystery novels mixed with horror. The author's name is Edawago Rampo. And the book that I will recommend is The Strange Tale of Panorama Island, which was written in 1926. So as you can see, there are many options of Golden Age mystery authors that you can read. I'm very excited about the books that you will choose, especially for this prompt. The fifth prompt is books about Agatha Christie, books featuring Agatha Christie, and retellings of Agatha Christie stories. First of all, I will recommend non-fiction books about Agatha Christie. There are two autobiographies written by Agatha Christie herself. The first one is Agatha Christie, an autobiography. The second one is Come Tell Me How You Live, an archaeological memoir by Agatha Christie Malawan. She used her husband's surname, who was an archaeologist, in this archaeological memoir. And other non-fiction books about Agatha Christie are A is for Arsenic, Poisons of Agatha Christie by Catherine Harkop. Agatha Christie's Secret Notebooks, 50 Years of Mysteries in the Making by John Curran. Agatha Christie, An Elusive Woman by Lucy Worsley. Agatha Christie, A Mysterious Life by Laura Thompson. And there are some non-fiction books about the works of Agatha Christie as well. The first one is The Life and Times of Miss Jane Marple by Anne Hart. The second one is Agatha Christie's Poirot, The Greatest Detective in the World by Mark Aldrich. And the third one that I could find was The Detective Novels of Agatha Christie, A Reader's Guide by James Samboy. I also found some books featuring Agatha Christie as a character. The first two are also about the disappearance of our author, which coincides with the dates of our readathon, of course. The Mystery of Mrs. Christie by Mary Benedict, and The Christie Affair by Nina de Gramont. And the other books featuring Agatha Christie were Death at Greenway, a novel by Laurie Raider Day, A Talent for Murder by Andrew Wilson, which is the first book in a series featuring Agatha Christie as a detective. And I also have a middle grade recommendation, The Body Under the Piano, the first book in Eggy Morton's series by Martha Joycelyn. There were many retellings of And Then There Were None, and I've included some of them in my recommendation video about Close Circle Mysteries. Others that I did not include in that video. One by One by Ruth Ware, They All Fall Down by Rachel Howzell Hall, The Decagon House Murders by Yukita Ajat Suji, 10 by Gretchen McNeil, and The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I also found some books which are retellings of Miss Marple's stories. Murder at the Old Vicarage by Jill McGowan, a retelling of Murder at the Vicarage, of course. And The Woman in the Library by Story Gentle, which is very much inspired by the Body in the Library. I found two books which are retellings or inspired by Murder on the Orient Express. Murder on the Ballarat Train by Kerry Greenwood, and 1222 by Anne Holt. And another Poirot inspired novel was Peril at Oak Park by Martha Joycelyn again. This book is heavily inspired by the Poirot novel Peril at the Ant House. And I found some series that are loosely inspired by Miss Marple series. The first one is Marlowe Murder Club by Robert Thorogood. And the second one is Gin and Daggers by Jessica Fletcher and Donald Bain, the novelization of the greatest TV detective Jessica Fletcher. And lastly, I will recommend two new approaches to Agatha Christie's most famous detectives. The Monogram Murders, the first book in Hercule Poirot mystery series by Sophie Hannah. And the second one is a short story collection, Marple, 12 new short stories by Naomi Alderman, Lee Bardugo, Alyssa Cole, Lucy Foley, Ellie Griffiths, Natalie Haynes, Jean Walk, Val McDermott, Karen McManus, Derrida Say Mitchell, Kate Moss, and Ruth Ware. What will I read for this prompt? I will read Marple, 12 new stories. I've been waiting to read this short story collection since it came out, but I wanted to savor it for this readathon, since I will be the captain of Team Marple. And although it's not definite, I'm thinking of making a reading vlog of this book and give my reactions as I finished each short story featuring my beloved Miss Marple. So this was the second recommendation for the Christie's Missing Readathon. Please comment down below, have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? And if you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose inspire. Inspire means esinlenmek in Turkish, and esinlenmek is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.